Hey everybody, welcome back to Sport Bike Menace. We're going to take the rotors out. I already took the other side off. Now the tools you guys are going to need is going to be a 6mm Allen. Don't use an Allen key because these are blue Loctite. So you're going to want to use like a power tool to get it out. You can use a wrench and use like a pry bar, but it's going to be better to use like an impacting gun because the blue Loctite on there is going to keep that bolt from moving. Now the reason why, again, I'm doing it this way because STG does it where he has the wheel completely off and he does it with his tool, but because this has blue Loctite in there, because the person changed, these are aftermarket rotors, so the person that changed it put a lot of blue Loctite in there. So it's better if you use this tool and get them loose ahead of time, so when you do take them off, you can use a regular tool and just take the rest of them. So just to get them started, and just do like that. And then some of them do end up coming out, but that's all right. As long as something is holding it, and this one's not going to work because it's too far, I'd just rather take it completely off. And you are going to have to take the front wheel off though. And again, this bolt right here, this bolt's the only one that's holding that together. So now we're going to take the actual wheel off. You're going to need special tools. When we come back, I'll have all the tools. I don't want to make this video too long. Alright, we're back. You need a 22 socket that's going to fit right here. Now this is for a 2008 Suzuki gsxr 1000. A 2007 and a 2008 is going to be the same thing. I don't know about other people's bikes, so just check your socket size. You guys also going to need a special tool, and this is going to be for the other side, and I'm going to show you guys when we get to the other side. This is made by Motion Pro, and it's not that expensive. I think it's $25 for this tool. So this comes off. Now there is pinch bolts, and I'm going to show you the pinch bolts. So this is not going to be able to come out, that axle tube, until you loosen these up, and then you can take the other side off. So loosen those up. And then the 22 can also hold this in place. So I don't know if you were to see. Well, actually it's going to only hold the 22mm is going to hold this. But I think we need the 24mm on that side, but we're gonna go over there right now. Alright, so now we're on the other side. So that special tool that I was telling you about, so that you're gonna need a 22 socket, and it's gonna go just like that. And then the one that says 24mm is the one that says it's gonna go in here, and it fits in there, so you can take that off. But remember, you got the pinch bolts that you gotta take off. So don't forget that. So loosen those up. Now, the way you guys want to do this is where hopefully like it can rotate it out, so you don't got to go super fast. It's just basically, you know, trying to get it to come out. So go slow so you get enough space. So you can see I got enough space. Now once you pull this, the wheel is going to drop. So you know what, I actually did this backwards, but that's fine. Yo man, you're right up the track. All right guys, we're back. I had to grab the tools to make sure I give you guys the best. So it's going to be a 12mm socket to take these ones out. So then there's 2 of them. Now I have aftermarket brake lines. So on the opposite side, and I'm going to show you guys, I had to use a wrench, 12mm. And then if you're going to change your brake pads, you're gonna use a 5mm Allen key to take these 2 out. And I'm gonna zoom in. So you got one right there, you got one up top. So I just loosened those up because I am going to change the brake pads. So I'm gonna make a separate video about that because I'm not trying to make this video long enough. But so to take the wheel off, you actually have to take the brake calipers out. So I kind of, you can do it however way you want. Like I went in reality, if you want to like go step by step, you would take this off, the brake caliper stuff off first before you start doing any of this. But there is no really right or wrong way of doing it, as long as you don't take the wheel off. Whatever you do, don't take this out until you take this off, because when the wheel drops, the wheel is actually going to drop on your caliper and you're going to damage your rim. I don't think you want to scuff up your rim. Don't get me wrong, my bike ain't, like, you know, there is scratches, but I don't want to add more to it. I am going to leave mine dangling. I do have bungee cords, but I'm just going to leave it hanging just to get this job done as quick as possible. These are steel braided, so it's not like, you know, they're going to get damaged. It's not like the stock ones are more brittle than these steel braided ones. So I'm just gonna leave that there, and then we're gonna go to the other side. And we're gonna do the front ones and the rear ones. So this is gonna be a long video right here. So this brake line is in the way for me to use a socket, so I had to use the wrench. And I don't even think, yeah, the bolt doesn't even come out completely because this is in the way. So that as long as it releases from there, that's all that matters. I can just leave it on. Oh, before I do that, I gotta loosen up these. I was about to forget. And again, just to break them loose, so when I do go change the brake pads, it's going to just be an easy job. And then when I do the how-to to change your brake pads, you know, they probably won't be able to see like from the beginning, but they'll get the hint of it. I'll just explain to them they got to take those out. And then as they're coming out, you want to twist towards you, so again, so it doesn't get caught between the rotor and your rim. So since that's there dangling, now we're going to take the whole tire. The whole tire is just going to fall down. And that is the axle, front axle. Don't get them dirty. You're going to have to lube them up before you put them back on. So you're gonna put blue Loctite on this. You don't need a lot. This is liquidy, so a lot comes out. And then just hand thread them so you don't end up stripping them, because they can go in wrong, because it does have blue Loctite, so it might be difficult to go back in. So just hand tight them. If it feels like something is like holding it back, then thread them in. Don't force it. Now what I'm doing is not the professional way. Again, this is just, if you're going to do this at home, it's going to get the job done. And I'm going to assume a lot of us are not professionals. That's why we watch these how-to videos. Now to show you guys, or I'll show you guys once I'm done. Now again, you guys are not going to like the way I'm doing this, but I'm just trying to go fast because I still got the rear ones to show you guys to take that apart. So I'm using the impacting gun to tighten them. Now I'm only getting them snug enough and just get them all like do like a star or opposite from each other, just to get them started. So you feel like it grabbed. Same thing with that one. Same thing with that one. All right. So now that I know they grabbed, now I'm just gonna give them enough. I don't want to go above and beyond. Because they do got blue Loctite, so they're not going to come out loose. So they're not torque to specs, but they're not coming out. You just saw I used the impacting wrench. I just didn't sit there and held it to the point where it would end up breaking the bolt or stripping it. So I did both sides. See if I bring you guys up. So that's you guys will be able to see. So both sides are done. And then to match it up to the one I had. Now I don't know if this matters. Oh yeah, it should matter. So right, they had this one with the numbers and the names facing this way. All right, so this one was facing this way, and then the opposite side was actually facing the opposite way. So there was no letters, no numbers, right? So is that intentional? I wouldn't be able to tell you guys. Could that be the reason why I feel like it's warped? Could be. So, but I wouldn't know, because it looks like it's even either way. So I believe it doesn't matter which way it goes in, but at the same time I do, because let me show you guys. Okay, you see these rivets? I'm gonna touch the screen to make sure you guys are. Oh. See these rivets? So the other side doesn't got those rivets. So there has to be a right way to put them on and a wrong way to put them on. And they had one of these sides with the rivets actually facing the wrong way. So maybe that's why it felt like it was warped. Maybe they put them on wrong. But I wouldn't know. I'm gonna just scrap these though. Don't get me wrong, they're expensive, but I'm gonna scrap them. I think they're all used up. They are pretty thin. This way they're thin, and these are thicker. So I'm gonna guess that's because these are pretty worn down. But yeah, when we come back, you guys will see me putting this back onto the rim. And or if not, matter of fact, I probably won't even show that, so I don't make this video any longer, because the same way you guys took it off is the same way you guys are going to put it on. So when we come back though, we'll do the rear rotors. Alright, we're back. So we got the front completed, and I'm going to explain a little bit about the front, just in case. There is a spacer right inside there. When you take this wheel off, that spacer is going to fall out. So the spacer goes on the left side, not on the right side. And I'm going to explain. Okay, so remember, you got that bolt, you got the spacer, and then we got the special tool that goes inside here, the special tool there. So that front axle has its own spacer already built into the axle, and I know the sun is gonna mess things up, but anyways, there's a spacer inside there, but that's already built into the axle. So what happens is when you start tightening up the nuts and bolts, so I'll put you guys down so I can explain. Okay, so this piece right here and this piece right here, when you start, you know, tightening it up, it's going to start squishing, going inwards, and that spacer is going to stop it from going too far in. Same thing with the spacer over there, it's going to stop it from going too much in. So when you tighten it up, it's going to compress itself. Now you are going to need a 24 that's going to fit inside this special tool, and what you're going to use, again, it's going to be here. So I'm going to go like that, right? Imagine that there, and then you have the 24 right here, right? So 24 is going to be in there, and that's going to be like that. And then you're going to use your impacting one or a wrench, and you're going to want to do it at the same time, right? You can tighten this one up first. Then once you tighten up that, you're going to see that the other side, this side, is going to be spinning. It's going to keep rotating, so it's not going to be fully tight. So you got to get two tools at the same time, and you're going to tighten them up at the same exact time. So as you're tightening it over here, this one wants to move, you got to keep this one straight and then keep turning this one, so then it can compress it. So you're going to need two tools to get that job done. And then you're going to put your brake pads in, but remember, since you put new rotors in, these are going to be thicker plates. If you're not planning to change out your brake pads, you're going to want to open up the gap inside your brake pads. You can use a flathead. Now if you're changing your rotors, you should be changing your brake pads, but either way, you're going to want to push them apart, the pistons, as far as possible, because there's going to be a tight fit going over these rotors. You're going to want to do that to both, and then just putting them back onto your where they need to go, and just do that to both sides. I'm not going to show that process because I gotta make a video about it, and we're going to be back when we do that. But right now we're going to work on the rear rotors, and we'll be back when I get that started. Alright guys, we're back. We're doing the rear brake rotor. I already loosened up this nut, so I already got that loose. I already loosened, well, I took some of them out, and then some of them are still in. See if I can zoom in. So that's for the brake rotor, so it's already loose. So on top of that, you got to loosen your chain adjusters, and I'm gonna tell you the tools you guys need. You guys still need the 6mm Allen key for these, and I used an impactor. Now those were more easier to come out compared to the other ones. And for these sets, you're gonna need a 10 wrench, I'm sorry, and a 12 inch wrench, and that's going to be for your chain adjuster. The reason why you guys are going to lose that, I'm going to show you guys right now. So you guys are going to hit forward, the rim is going to go forward, and it's going to let me take the chain off, so I can pull this chain apart. Well, not apart, but you know what I'm saying, get it off the actual sprocket. So move forward, and it should give you enough room. If not, you guys are going to have to loosen it up even more. So just do this, and then hopefully I can get it off. There we go. So then you push it to the side, right? So that's already basically out. So now all you got to do is take out this bolt, and then you're going to pull out the rear axle. So we're going to take this off. There's going to be two spacers. You got to pay attention to the spacers that are going in, because they're going to be different sizes, and I'm going to show that right now. And then to show you guys, it's popping up over here. Now I do have a tire wedge from pit bull, and that's what I'm using, so it makes my job easier, so I don't kill my back. Just keep, you know, just, there goes my camera. So the axle's out, make sure it stays clean, and put lube. I already got lube on mine, so it's shiny. So yeah, so make sure it's clean. If you see that it's dirty, you can clean it all off and then put new lube on it. So now since the chain is out, I'm gonna drop the tire wedge. And matter of fact, I'm gonna shut off the camera here, and then basically all you guys are gonna do is just take the tire out, and then when we come back, I'll show you the rest of it. So that's my bad. So you're gonna wanna slide this out. You don't gotta take this out. But if you're gonna do your brake pads, you're gonna wanna loosen this bolt. So when you loosen this bolt, this rotates up. We're gonna make a video after this changing the brake pads out, and you guys will be able to see it. But so yeah, so now just take the tire off. Just pay attention to your spacers. So to show you guys, here's one spacer. Remember, clean these off. They're dirty. And then to show you guys the other spacer, this is the other spacer. What you guys can do, so you guys don't mess it up, just make sure this one stays on the left side and this one stays on the right side, so you guys know right from left. Alright, we're back, guys. So it's all done. It's the same repeating of the front. You're gonna do the same thing with the back. Just put them in like just hand tight, basically. And then when you go to fully tight them, just do the star. I had to take out my sprocket because I didn't want this digging into the dirt. Basically your sprocket's gonna go over here, and then this is gonna fit in a spot. That's how it's gonna fit. This whole thing needs to get cleaned. In reality, I should do it now since the tire and everything's off, but I'll do this on another day because I don't want to drag this day out. All right, when we get back, the rim, all this will be put back together, and I'll explain how I did everything. All right, guys, we're back. So I'm finally put all this back together. So I adjusted the chain, so I got all that. I got to clean this all off before I put the brake pads in. So as you guys can see, this is what I was talking about, just removing that one bolt. So you got that one bolt there, and then there's another one. There's an Allen key. It's right there. That's going to be a 5mm, and that's going to be for your front and back. And I'm going to go in more detail when I do the brake pad change out. But I took the old ones out because it's going to give me more room to slide the new disc in, because it's got to go up. And it's a big help to have a tire wedge, so I can, you know, adjust it as it's going up, and as I have it in place, I can move the brake caliper around. Yeah, the most pain in the butt part of it is adjusting your chain back up to the point where it's not overly loose and not overly tight. Now I do prefer it being a little bit looser than tighter, because I don't want to stretch this chain out to the point where it snaps and then I need a new chain, plus I'll be stranded. So I left it on more on the looser side. There is really no wrong or right way to do this for the chain. I mean, you don't want it super loose to where it pops off the sprocket in the front or rear, but it don't got to be super loose or super tight. That's just my opinion. You can check Brock's Performance out. When they do drag racing, they leave their chains pretty loose because of the torque, the amount of torque that goes into it. The chain moves a lot, and if you have it super tight, it has nowhere to flex other than to brake. So anyways, so I put all this stuff back together to show you. Remember to put your spacers back in. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a spacer inside there, so make sure that goes back in. This also has a spacer in there, so make sure that that goes back in. The disc, the caliper has to go back in before you do all of this stuff, because the brake caliper is basically a spacer itself. So don't forget to put all that back together. But yeah, guys. Again, it's more of the pain in the butt part is adjusting the chain. So here's the other rotor that was on, and to show you guys, it is from Griffer. It's more the expensive brand. I can't tell you guys if it is good brake rotor or if it's a bad brake rotor. I mean, it has a lot of markings on it. I don't know if you can kind of see it's like bluish. So I can't really tell you, but I just changed them out just in case. Better to be safe than sorry. I also changed out these still had a lot of life in it, but I'm changing them out. Better be safe than sorry. So because I modified these, I chamfered them down, so it's better to get, you know, new ones, even though these were expensive, because these are the top of the line of EBCs, expensive brake rotors, brake pads. And I got the eBay cheap ones, but we'll see how. We'll do a review once I break in the rotors and the pads. But yeah, guys, to show you guys anyways how they look. That's the new brake rotor. Show you how it looks like when it also pay attention to the way it's supposed to go back on. I'm gonna see if I can get it in frame. There's an arrow, right? This arrow tells you how the wheel rotates. The wheel is going that way, so make sure that arrow is going correctly. Same thing with the front. So I don't know if I said that earlier in the video, and hopefully I think I even put these ones wrong, and I was oh man, yeah, I put these ones wrong. Anyways, I swear I paid attention to it, but obviously I wasn't. So anyways, don't do what I just did. There's an arrow, unless I'm looking at the wrong arrow, but I'll make sure. I think I'm looking at the right arrows. Yeah, I made a big boo-boo. But anyway, so I gotta redo this whole job again. Crap. So anyways, don't do what I just did. So just pay attention to the arrows. Your tires are rotating this way, and double check yourself before you start going riding. Anyways, guys, I made this video long enough. So remember to subscribe to the channel, hit like, put a comment, and everybody ride safe. I'll catch you guys in the next video. So always, but though, pay attention to how you guys do things before you guys head out. So I'm glad I noticed that. If not, I was gonna be very screwed. So ride safe, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.